It is 23 February 2021, week 8 of the course Introduction to Sociology, SOC 1010. So we have 1 hour, and after that 15 minutes for break, and after that 1 hour for your final exam.
Okay.
Perfect.
We will have the normal learning engagement and everything this week.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect. So let's go to chapter 15. It's about demography and population and urbanization. How many people are currently alive? We will see. Why do some people move to the city and others to country? How fast is the population growing? One of the major problems of governments to think and to design for the family planning as the major tools, as the basic tools for population growing. And do urban dwellers have a better life than rural dwellers? How do you think about the last question? Do you think that urban dwellers have a better life than rural dwellers or not? Residents of the great cities have a better life, for example, rather than people in countries or rural areas.
I think urban dwellers, they have greater access to things, but if you like your privacy more and more of like land and space to um have
Privacy in
privacy,
cities
yes.
are greater than urban areas. You can have more privacy in cities or not.
No, in rural areas you can have more privacy. I think the
Privacy.
urban dwellers, they have more convenience and access
Yeah.
to places and things.
How do you think like this? Because in urban areas, neighbors are very close together, and the distance between the houses and the family members, no long distance, and everybody knows about it. I have a very short time a period of in my country living not in an urban areas, but for example, second hand or third hand cities of my country. It was so great cities, but not the, for example, meta cities or mega cities like my country is in Tehran. In
Mhm.
that city, it was very great, very huge city.
But you
But
don't
because
have
of
like
the family
yards.
members, we were not so comfort.
Mhm.
Everybody knows about everything from you. I don't call it privacy.
What's dwellers?
Sometimes I call it isolation. Yes.
No, I'm saying in rural areas you get greater privacy because
Uh,
you're more spaced out and you have bigger, yards and
yeah,
space like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. In this part, yes, but as a personal privacy, it's very rural. Everybody knows about
Mhm.
all things of your life, all details of your life. You cannot be so uh, in the hidden part of your life, in the hidden part of your secrets. And chapter outlines are demography, the study of population, population growth in global context, a brief glimpse at the international migrant theories, urbanization in global perspectives, perspectives on urbanization and the growth of cities, problems in global cities, urban problems in the United States, and rural community issues in the United States. Okay, the question, deep questions you think you should think about them are these. Okay, immigration debate. So during the last 4 years, immigration was one of the major problems, one of the major governmental issues in America. America is one of the greatest immigrant countries all around the world. Except of Indian American, nobody is Native American here. Nobody. Except of Indian American. that we think that I, I don't think that it is now. No, I don't think less than 1%, less than 1% of American population are Indian American, less than 1%. Other people, honestly, they are immigrants, basically white American. After that, in a slavery period of America, African American. After World War II, especially in some areas like Hawaii, we have Far East Asian or Oriental people. And finally, between the World War II and, for example, before the beginning of the new century, we have white European people, Southern Europe. Nobody is here as a Native American. So all unauthorized immigrants in the United States entered the country illegally. Is it true or not?
False.
How do you think? I am unauthorized, but I have entered legally. What does it mean?
Well, a lot of people enter legally and then they just stay after their authorization expired.
For example, you entered America with your
Student
tourism,
visa, and then
yeah,
you stop
for a
studying, and
student
then you
visa, and
just
after
stay.
that you stay here.
Mm-hmm.
You are unauthorized, yes, but you have entered legally.
Mm-hmm.
Only refugees all around the world, not only here in America. Only refugees are people who enter illegally, because if they enter a country legally, they cannot say that I want to be a refugee under the coverage of United Nations in your country. They should enter your country illegally. Sometimes, for example, they destroy their passport or visa in, for example, April, and after entering the visa section, they said, sorry, we have entered the airplane illegally. Okay? But as Gabriela said, many people entered America legally with different visa that they can enter America. And after entering, they don't come back to their country. So after that, they are unauthorized immigrants, but they have entered legally. Most people migrate to another country because of push factors that make them unhappy in their country of origin, such as poor economic conditions, political unrest, or war. How do you think about America, especially in the beginning years of 20th century? Was it because the push factors in the country of origin, or no, because of the pull factors in the destination, America? Many people came to America because their country of origin was not good, or no, they come to the land of opportunity as we called America. How do you think? It is push factor from the country of origin, or pull factors from the destination when you want to go for better life, for better income, for better education, better parenting, future of your, for example, children, future of your job? How do you think? Especially for America.
It depends on what time period.
For example, in World War II, we know push factors factors were more important than pull factors. Why? Nazis in Germany, many good Jewish people like Albert Einstein were in Europe, and it was pull factor. Sorry, it was push factor, not pull factor. They don't want to come to America, but they don't have any good, safe country of origin. So they should escape from their country of origin, which is the best part. After that, welcome to United States of America. It was push factors, not pull factors. But now, for example, in what time you can see the pull factors of America. Pull factor is related to the destination, not current country of origin. You said it is related to the time. In
Yes,
what
right now
time
I
can
think
you
it would
see?
be pull factor.
Uh-huh.
Like you
What
said,
kind of-
seeking the land of opportunity right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's as a foreign, I could say like from the outside, there's this American dream that everybody talks about.
Yes.
But when you get
Only from
here,
outside.
yeah, from outside. Because when you get here, it's not really exactly like that.
It is really, it is not easy.
Yeah, exactly. You have to work
Yeah, it is really. It can be really also. Not for everybody.
but you have to work really hard.
Very hard,
Yeah.
more than very hard work. You should be a smart.
Yeah.
You
And you
should be a
have to get
smart.
like sub jobs like as a you have to clean houses or be a
Yeah,
waitress or
yeah, yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Everything, everything.
Yeah. So yeah,
In
it's not that
America,
easy.
for
There's nothing dreamy about it.
yeah, for succeed in America, you should have four items. The fourth item is opportunity, chance. First one is hardworking. Second one is to be a smart, intelligence.
Hmm.
Third one is risk taking, courage. This is very,
Hmm.
very important. Courage for to be successful in America. Courage is the most important
Hmm.
non-ordinary factor because everybody work here hard. If you
Hmm.
don't work hard, you will be homeless.
Yeah. The
So
two
it is very
things,
ordinary to work.
yeah, there the two things that I really think that makes a huge difference from Brazil,
Yeah,
because that's where I'm from, that I can say, are like here, if I work, let's say, as a waitress, I can make enough money to have a fine house, a car, pay my food, and pay for my education, and just live fine. I won't be rich, but I can have a fine life.
yeah,
In Brazil, if you work as a waitress, you'll be considered poor.
yeah,
You probably will have a very, very bad house. You won't have enough money to pay your bills. You have to use public transportation. So here, your money is worth it.
yeah,
And so I think here you have quality of life.
yes.
That's the American dream that we can really talk about.
In
But it's not
contrast to
easy. It's not
yeah,
easy money. You
in
really have to
comparison
work. Yeah.
in comparison to some countries like Middle East, like Southern America, in contrast to those countries, yes, standards of American living is high. In contrast,
Hmm.
but in contrast to Northern Europe, Sweden, Denmark, or Central Europe, Germany, France, Britain, in comparison to those countries, standards of life is not so high in America.
Hmm.
Social standards is not so high. You can see many people homeless in this country. As
Hmm.
the richest country, the highest GNP, gross national production, the highest GNP of the world is for America. For
Hmm.
the highest GNP, capitalism is not very fair economic operation system. But in comparison to, for example, Cuba, Brazil, or in Middle East, yes, in comparison to those, or also Africa. But because these are not very rich countries, the major parts is China and Japan in Asia, in Middle East. It is my country, Iran, Saudi Arabia, the part of Arabic area, and also India, and other parts is about Europe, especially Germany. These are the major parts of money in the world. As you, as the business students know, G7. What are the countries of G7? Have you heard about G7? What is G7?
I don't remember the countries.
Tell me, my favorite business students.
Courtney
Well,
knows.
you can be the next generation. What is G7? How don't you know what is G7?
I've heard about it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, search it and name their countries. G7, it is group 7. G is for group. G7 is the countries of America,
Canada,
Canada,
China,
France, England, Japan, China, Russia, or Germany, or maybe Germany. These are G7. The toughest,
Italy.
Italy, yeah. These are the biggest countries in the world. Italy is from for G7. Italy. Italy is not so rich country. You check it correct. G7 countries. These are the 7 richest, most industry group of 7. Yeah.
Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, United Kingdom.
Yeah, Italy. Yeah, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, United Kingdom, and the United States. Also G5 and other Gs, other groups. These are the major parts. Major countries. Can you see my PowerPoint now? Didn't you see the PowerPoint? Stop sharing. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. These are the major countries for economy, the world economy. In contrast, in comparison to these countries, the standards of America, living in America is not so high. Standards, not the money you can earn in America. But in comparison to some countries like countries in the Southern America, in Middle East, in Africa, yes, standards are good. Living in America is very simple, but not so easy. Very, very simple. With these 4 items: work harding, intelligence, smart, to be smart. After that, it is risk-taking, courage, and finally, opportunities. Also, opportunities is not always for you. It is external. Especially 2 and 3, especially the 3rd item. Many people work hard. Many people work hard. Many people are a good states of intelligence. And everybody has sometimes some opportunities. After losing the chances, after the losing opportunity, people knows that, wow, such a chance I have lost after losing. So the 3rd item is very more important and very rare. Few people has the courage to seize the opportunities, as also Oprah Winfrey says. US immigrants are just as likely to have college degrees as are native-born Americans. How do you think? US immigrants are just as likely. True or false?
He was already showing.
And these chapters are on the final, correct? The questions from 15 and 16?
Yeah.
For the PowerPoints?
And most children living in documented immigrant families were born in the United States and are therefore US citizens. I have a question. What is the process of naturalization for immigration? What is difference between naturalized citizen
If you were
and
born,
granted citizen?
if you were born on US soil.
You are naturalized citizen?
Mm-hmm.
And if you are not born, you are granted citizen?
Well, yeah, through the immigration process.
Immigration process.
But yes, if you're from immigrant parents that came over illegally, but you're born here, then you're a natural citizen.
And naturalized citizen, not natural.
Oh, sorry.
Are you certain about it? No, because difference between natural citizen. You are present the definition of natural citizen, not naturalized citizen.
Oh no, then sorry.
There is no difference between naturalized citizen and granted citizen. Both of them, they are not born in the America. Naturalization is the legal process of granting citizenship to one person who has before that permanent resident. You can check it in the internet. the process of naturalization and citizenship. What you said was natural citizen or ordinary citizen or primary citizen. Someone, for example, you are primary citizen. You were born in America, your mother, your father, everybody is here. One of my uh, American, basically American, Iranian American, I think his name is uh, Ferdowsi, Mr. Ferdowsi. He is the control, the manager of control team of Curiosity on the March just now. He was born here in America, but his father and his mother is Iranian and born in Iran. And we said it's our honor to have such a man in the team of NASA for controlling the flight of Curiosity on the land of the March. And in the previous interview, he has said, sorry, I am not Iranian, I am American. Yes, sorry. We apologize you to consider you as an Iranian. When a Gallup poll, do you know what is Gallup? You should know. You should know. It's mandatory to know these companies. Gallup, the greatest company, the most valued company in creating polls, in creating questionnaire, in creating research for policymakers of the countries, for governments. Gallup, all around the world. And one section of Gallup is about the strength finding in organization. Please, please, please pay money and take the course of Gallup in strength finding if you want to be a different moneymaker manager. It's internationally very, very valid documents, very, very valid certification from Gallup, and very knowledge-based strength finding organization. And after that, you can be a strength coach with a higher money making in America and outside of America. When a Gallup poll asks Americans, even legal immigrants mostly take jobs that Americans want, or if they mostly take low-paying jobs that Americans don't want, the majority of Americans indicated that they believe the most undocumented immigrants take low-paying jobs that Americans don't want. Is it true or false? This is
I don't
called,
know what they answer, but it is true.
it's true, yeah. Because of that, everybody was in opposition state of Donald Trump. Donald Trump says, yes, we have many people unemployed, white American unemployed here. If we don't accept immigrant, we can create jobs for white Americans who are unemployed. But the answer was that, sorry, these jobs that people, undocumented immigrant people are doing, these are not the jobs that white American will do. They don't go to the job. They want
I
to be
always say that
but is
if
lower social level.
yeah, I always say that if Trump would send all the immigrants home, Americans wouldn't have delivery, they wouldn't have
Yeah.
waiters, they wouldn't have people to clean their houses, they
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
have
yeah.
a lot of people. They wouldn't have those
Because
people,
of that, about
those
5
services.
million people, 5 million people
Uh-huh.
voluntarily go to the airports, voluntarily, at the first month of 2007
Yeah.
and said,
You
what
didn't
are you
name one of the
doing?
biggest farming would be probably one of the biggest hits
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like all the
Yeah.
farming jobs and stuff, even coming from Florida.
For
Mhm.
different jobs. For example, I think about 2 or 3% of all the big name surgeries in America is done by my country surgeons, Iranian surgeons. 2 or 3% of successful surgery in this country, they are Iranian. And when they ban the immigration, they ban the traveling, many white Americans go to airport that said, my doctor is Iranian. Why have you banned him or her for entering here? From that higher level until the lowest level, as Gabriel said, yes, if you don't want immigrant, who will wash your dishes? Who will sweep your stores? from lowest part, economic part, not prestige. It is not about the prestige, it's not only about money, until the highest part. And the funny thing is that this gentleman is not originally American. Only one generation. Even his father is not born in America. Even his father, not grandpa. His father is German. And welcome to the First Lady of America. First Lady of America was not born in America. I think she's a Slovakian, I think, or Bulgarian, I don't know. From that part of Europe. Okay, it's true. To become a naturalized US citizen, immigrants must pass a basic test on English and US civics. We talked about it. And sorry, I forgot they were born in the United States. Immigrant increase employment and lower wages among native workers. It is true or false? As you see, it is false. Most children living in undocumented immigrant families were born in the United States and therefore US citizens. There is a very mistaken law in my country. Even native Iranian man, male, married with a foreign lady, their children will be citizens of Iran. But even if an Iranian woman live with a foreigner, their children will not be a citizen of Iran. Citizenship is related to your father, not your mother. I don't know why. Also, there are a lot of protests from the side of lawyers, authority in feminism, that what is the law? If one of your parents is from other country, you can apply for citizenship for both countries of your parenting. If it is mother, or if it is she's mother, or he is your father. And the final, foreign-born non-US citizens who marry a US citizen are automatically granted US citizenship.
False.
Why? What is the problem with this sentence?
Automatically.
Perfect. They will be granted. Yeah, okay, but not automatically. They should pass some courses sometimes, for example, 5 years. The neighbors should say, yes, they are together and they are a family. After that, yes, they can receive American citizenship, but not automatically. Automatically in all for children. Okay. Demo, as we talked about it before this time, demo is meant people. For example, we say democracy. Democracy is the dominance of people. Democracy. Crazy is mean dominance. For example, bureaucracy and theocracy and democracy, democracy. And demo is mean people. Graph is meant writing, is meant drawing, graph. Demography, it is growing and writing the features of people from the aspects of sex, gender, and ethnicity, and age, and marital state, and educational status, and, for example, prestige or level of wealth and other parts. Demography is a subfield of sociology that examines population size, composition, and distribution. It is very interesting that in psychotherapy, we have a basic interview that we do as psychotherapy with you. And the first information we are receiving, we are gathering, it is about the demographic information, about your age, educational level, birth order. Birth order is very, very important for psychotherapy. And also marital status, also socioeconomic status. These are the basic demographic information that we gather in the first session from our clients. As you see, in population, birth minus death equal natural increase each year, each day, each minute. Okay, let's go here. You can see here, US, it's live now.
Yeah, you showed us the
Just now, the population of the world is 7 billion, 745 million, 207,000, and it is. And now here you can see one birth every 9 seconds, one death every 10 seconds, one international migrant every 605 seconds, net gain of 1% every 52 seconds. And you see here that the first 10 most populous countries around the world. The first is China, population of China. Very near to that is India, here. More than 1 billion, both of them. The third country is United States, here. And also you see here, US population. Indonesia, the fourth country is Indonesia. The fifth country of the world is Pakistan. The sixth one is Nigeria. Seventh, Brazil. Eight, Bangladesh. 9, Russia. And 10, Mexico. These are the top 10 most populous countries until the 1st July of 2020. We will talk about this in next PowerPoint. What is this? By age and sex. It's very interesting. States. For example, the highest density in America is for District of Columbia. You know, District of Columbia is not a state. Washington, D.C. Population, this is population. This is density. Amount of people per mile square until 2019 also. And the most populous state of America is California, near 40 million people. After that, Texas, near 29 million people. After that, Florida, near 22. New York, near 20 million. State, not city. Pennsylvania, Illinois, Ohio, Georgia, North Carolina, and Michigan. It is the most populous, it is the most density. You can check it, it is good for you. Two sides, also I know, they will not be so applicable for you, I know. But it gives you a good perspective to the future. It is the extra data, not direct data. Indirect data you should have for have a good perspective about the future of your job. Also, we have checked it also before this time, US debt. This is the US debt clock. We have seen together this one, okay? In the previous sessions. It shows second by second. Now, this is the amount of debt of America just now. State of debt for any debt. Minute by minute, second by second, you can see the live. It is called US debt clock. The green is for positive parts, the red is for negative parts. US debt deficit, and we have some part here in different years, debt to GDP ratio and other parts. Some clocks is good for you as the business students and as the future managers and leaders. You should know about how to work with numbers. It is very important. You should know how to work with numbers. If you cannot do it, your mind is so good for high level of management, mid-level management. You should go work. You can work with mathematics, numbers, graphs. It's a very good option for every high-level leader. These are two parts which are live. One of them about the population all around the world and in the United States. And one of them about the money. Also, it is UC national debt. The greatest national debt, the highest national debt all around the world is for your country, America. Also after that is China. So it is not a problem because you see here the most developed countries has the highest debt. It is not so bad. It shows the flow of money because of that. It is not good or bad. Because you see USA, the first one, after that China, Japan, Germany, UK, India, France, Italy, Brazil, Canada, Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Greece, Indonesia, Ireland, Korea, Mexico, Netherlands, Nigeria, Norway. So you see many of the G7 in this table. Okay, let's go to the Have you checked the US debt before this time or not?
You showed us all that. I think it might have been like the first class.
First session.
Yes, the first Zoom meeting.
Yeah. And have you checked it again during these 8 weeks or not? Not. It's not too bad to have a good perspective about the future. Okay, so let's go to this part. Fertility is the actual level of childbearing for an individual or population. It is fertility. The crude birth rate, we have two birth rate. We have, two crude rate. Crude birth rate and crude death rate. Crude birth rate for fertility and crude death rate for mortality. It is mortality rate or mortality. You see here. Fertility is the actual level of childbearing for an individual or a population. But the scale you should use in fertility is called the crude birth rate. The crude birth rate is the number of live births, not all birth, live birth per 1,000 people in a population in a given year. It is regular to consider only 1 year, for example, 2021. And each year the government, the health system of a government says and talks about the previous year, for example, crude birth rate or crude death rate. Mortality is the incidence of death in a population also in a given time, in a given year. The crude death rate is the number of deaths per 1,000 people in a population in a given year. We call it sometimes in health system and in nursing and medical science, it says mortality rate. It's very popular in terminology, the vocabulary of medical group, it is mortality rate. As you see, it is, I love this table. It says and talks and shows the first 10 reasons of major death all around the world during the 20th century, in the beginning of 20th century, and at the end of the 20th century and beginning of 21st century. As you see, at the beginning of 20th century, we have 10 major problems, major causes for death. Number one, in the beginning, in the starting time, in the beginning time of the 20th century, number one reason for death, especially mass death in population all around the world, was inf and pneumonia. Pneumonia is the problem of lung. And tuberculosis, number two. Three, stomach intestinal disease, number three, in the beginning of the 20th century. Number four, cerebral hemorrhage. It is bleeding in the brain. It is called cerebral hemorrhage, number five. Number four, heart disease. Number six, kidney disease. It was a reason for death. Number seven, accidents. Number eight, cancer. Number nine, disease in early infancy. And number 10, diphtheria. So now look at the major causes of death in the beginning years of 21st century. Number one, heart disease. After 100 years, heart disease from the ranking number 4 come up to the number 1 because of the fatty food, because lower exercise, lower athletic exercise during a day, because of the lifestyle, the heart disease comes up from number 4 disease, number 4 cause of death in the beginning of the 20th century to the number 1, heart attack, heart disease. Number 2, cancer. Again, you see, after 10 years, the ranking of cancer as a major cause of death comes up from the ranking of 8 to the ranking of 2. These are the chronic diseases because of your lifestyle. Cancer is because of, cancer is not because of your stress. Stress can facilitate to cover the minimum amount of cancer cells to the mass amount of cancer. Everybody, it's scientifically based approved. Everybody has many cancer cells in his or her body. Just now, you and me have many cancer cells in different parts of, some cancer cells in our brain, in our kidney, in our lung, in our intestinal part, and other parts. But they are not cancer disease. Why? They are limited to the location, and total number is a large amount, yes, but a specific number is not large. Everybody, until the time of dying. But the stress can push them out. It is called metastasis. Metastasis is going from one part of body to the other parts of body by the cancer cells. It is because of lifestyle, one of the major parts that encourage cells to transfer from one part to other parts is, for example, stress. Because of that, because of lifestyle, you can see that cancer as a major cause of death from the number 8 to number 2. And malignant. It is malignant. It is killing. It's a very good video. Please watch this video in YouTube. It is called Stress as a Killer, I think. Yes, as a natural killer or as a killer. It is the author and the man in the video is, it is Robert Sapolsky. Robert Sapolsky is the professor of Stanford. It is Robert Sapolsky, and Stress as a Killer. Wait a minute. A Stress Portrait of a Killer. The Stress Portrait of a Killer. This video. Stress Portrait of a Killer, full documentary. is one of the most scientific documentary about stress
Thinking about mortgage, damn it, money.
by Robert Sapolsky in Stanford.
Impact of stress
Here.
and how the science.
This is Sapolsky, the professor of bioneuroscience in
That's only
Stanford.
part
This
of
is
his
Stanford.
story. For a few weeks every year or so, Sapolsky shifts his lab to a place more than 9,000
And he has gone to
miles
Africa.
away, on the plains of the Masai Mara Reserve in Kenya, East Africa.
And work on the stress in baboons, a type of monkeys, not in human people, human beings, in animal, stress in animals.
Robert Sapolsky first came to Africa over 30 years ago on a hunch. He suspected he could find
What
out
are the
more about
hormones of
human
stress
and
in
disease
animals?
by looking at non-humans.
As
And
you
he knew
here, it
just
is
the
non-human.
non-humans.
These are
You
bubbles.
live in a place like this, you're a baboon, and you only have to spend about 3 hours a day getting your calories. If you only have to work 3 hours a day, you've got 9 hours.
His proficiency is about stress, and it's a very good documentary, especially for your children, for adult. Stress portrait of a killer. Very, very internationally famous documentary. Very good documentary. Any
I'll
question?
check it out.
You find it?
Yes, I'll watch it.
Yeah. In this video, you will understand that why, for example, I was talking about the major causes of death comparison between the beginning of the 20th century and beginning of 21st century. It is about the, for example, lifestyle, stress. Stress is not good, it's not bad. Stress is natural. We have two parts of stress, eustress and distress. Positive stress is called eustress. Negative stress is called distress. Eustress motivates you and work you, and you will be awakening from early morning to do your jobs and other things because of eustress. But distress will end to dysfunctions, will end to bad feeling about your life, sense of loss of energy, sense of fatigueness, and other parts. In this video, his proficiency is about stress, and we will talk about stress. For example, number 5, accidents. So good. Here, accidents is number 7. Here is accidents. Number 6, kidney. We cannot find something like Alzheimer's disease in the beginning of the 20th century. Also, it is not about Alzheimer. The diagnostic tools were not so good for diagnosing Alzheimer. So it is not about the problem. It is about the assessment, gathering information about the problem. Number 6 is Alzheimer, especially in America, especially in California, especially in Southern California. Los Angeles has the greatest association of Alzheimer's studies in the United States. The greatest, the most famous, the most scientific association of Alzheimer's studies, Alzheimer's research about Alzheimer's disease is in Los Angeles. If you go to the neighborhood of UCLA, you can find many, for example, advertise many billboards about the Association of Alzheimer in Los Angeles. Again, you see diabetes. Diabetes is a problem for your lifestyle. Basically, it's about your lifestyle. Influenza and pneumonia, from the ranking of first come down to the ranking of 8. Also, it is before coronavirus. And nephritis and nephritic syndrome and nephrosis, it is about the, again, lifestyle. It is about your food. And suicide. Suicide is one of the first 10 causes of death in the US. There's no such thing. Also, we had suicide from the ancient time, but not as a major cause of death. Number 10. It's good for knowing how lifestyle will shape not only your history, will shape your destiny. If you want to change your destiny, you should change your lifestyle. Except of that, from the same wrong ways, you will have the same wrong gains, not new gain. The wrong way, the wrong gain. If you cannot change anything, nothing will change. Also, it is not from me, from Anthony Robbins says, if you cannot change anything, nothing will change. It is very simple logic. I accept it. Yes, the same wrong ways. This is from myself also. The same wrong ways, the same wrong gains. If you want to a new day, you should choose a new way. Because of that, you are talking about quality of life, standards of life, and more important than everything, your food, your practice, your mood, your happiness, which are very basic parts of your health, and something more important than health. It is wealth. Wealth is something more than health. Health is a part of wealth. Wealth is not about money. The matter of wealth is not money. Money is a very, very little portion of wealth. Your health, your mindset, your relationships, your social prestige, all are part of your general wealth. The differences between migration and immigration. The movement of people from one geographical area to another for the purpose of changing residency is immigration or migration. So for birds, for animals, we use the word migration, not immigration. Because, for example, birds from one continent to another continent, only for changing the location of residency, only for changing their destiny, for example, yearly destination and yearly destiny for their long-term journey from, for example, North Europe to north part of America, only for changing their residency. Also, we are not talking about the birds, about the animals. We are talking about human beings. In human beings, in terminology, in the vocabulary we use for define the differences between migration and emigration in human beings, you should know the keywords. The keywords are important for knowing the major concept, the main concept. Not every definition you should know. What are the keywords of the definition of migration as you see in the PowerPoint slide? We have two keywords. What are two keywords of migration? One is
Out and residency.
Other things. One of them is residency. What is the purpose of immigration? Residency, changing residence. And what is the major concept of migration? Geographical. You change the geographical area of residency in migration. But in immigration, the movement of people out of geographical to take up residency somewhere else or elsewhere. Is it different between migration and immigration? Also, we have another parts of immigration, international versus internal. Migration may be either international movement between two nations or internal movement within national boundaries. Internal migration has occurred throughout US history and has significantly changed the distribution of population over time. For example, just now in these years, you can see a very, very economically important migration, internal immigration or integral migration in between the states of America. Do you know anything about the migration of Tesla? Tesla migrated from California to
Texas.
Texas, to Austin. And other great companies are going out from California, from Silicon Valley to Austin. It is internal. And after that, if California cannot change its tax issues, California will be bankruptcy. You'll have a bad bankruptcy in the 2 or 3 years, next 2 or 3 years. Why? The great moneymaker companies like Google, like Microsoft, like Tesla are going out from California. Why? Because then zero tax or lower tax in other states. And they are thinking about their benefits, about their costs, not about the name. Especially some companies like Tesla, very, very innovative. It is internal, but international. Welcome to the Nike store. Welcome to Nordstrom. Welcome to Adidas. You go to Nike in America. You go to Polo, one of the greatest icon of America all around the world is Polo. Originally American style. Original. You go to Polo, you buy a t-shirt, and at the back of the Polo, it has written, made in China, made in Philippines, made in Hong Kong. It is Polo. Yes, I know. It is Polo, under the license of Polo. Very good quality. China is very interesting country in the side of business. Many, a wide range of qualities for a wide range of customers. In my country, when people say something is Chinese, nobody wants to buy anything from China. The lowest quality in my country production is very higher level, very high quality, but it is not so cheap. It is expensive because, for example, my country and Italy has the best shoes all around the world, because of the material, because of the industrial shoes, very high quality, but it is not cheap. It is expensive. After coming Chinese shoes to my country, many old shoes industry went to bankruptcy because they cannot compete with the very lower, very cheaper shoes of China. It is international. It is Polo, but made in China. It is Polo, but made in, for example, Indonesia. It is international migration. And I want to talk about it, and after that, 2 pictures, and after that, go for break and for your final exam. Please pay attention. In every human change, in every human-based change, it is political change, economical change, educational change, in every human change, we have 2 motivating factors. Some factors are at your back and pull you forward, go forward. They have pressure at your back to create change. It is pull factors. And many factors are in your front, in your future, in your dreams. These are, those are push factors, these are pull factors. They pull you in direction of themselves. For example, your dreams, your future, your wishes, your desires, your feelings, your goals, all are pull factors. They are not push factors. But if you don't have any good history and you want to having some coverage on your history and enter a new life, that part which is related to your past life history, your past history, is called push factors. Now in countries, you see countries with poverty, countries with dictatorship, countries without any freedom, not democracy, theocratic countries like my country based on religion, poor countries, or not fair, not having fair political system. For example, many South American countries doesn't have any fair political systems. They are not that fair. You see that some people in countries like Brazil, like Argentina, some people are very, very, very rich people. Many people are not so, are very poor. It is social stratification, not only based on wealth, power, and prestige. Social stratification only based on wealth or based on money. Many people want to go out, especially, for example, in communistic countries like Cuba, even like China, like old system of Russia, USSR. They didn't have any good, they couldn't create a good feeling for economic growth. Everybody has money in Russia in his or her pocket in old system of Russia. But no, not any economical growth for one person. Everything is under the control of government. It is communistic system. You see push factors in those countries. As your book says, pull factors at the international level, such as democratic government, like America, religious freedom, like central countries, Central European countries. Religious freedom in America, you don't have any good religious freedom. Many people are in America are religious people. Sometimes they have some dogmatic, some only one or zero binary thinking, not decimal thinking. But for example, if you go to Netherlands, it is the land of religious freedom. Employment opportunities, like America, or more temperate climate, for example, like California, may draw voluntary immigrant to a nation. Voluntary. Pull factors are voluntary, is not mandatory. Pull factors. You choose, you change your country, and migrant go to another country for pull factors, for better future life, for your dreams, for your economy, for your religious freedom, for your sexual freedom, for then sense of freedom and wealth, power, and prestige. But in push factors are as the international level, such as political unrest, violence, war, famine, plagues, and natural disasters, may encourage people to leave one area and relocate elsewhere. Push factors in regional US migration include employment, harsh weather conditions, for example, um, which is the highest density of population in District of Columbia for Washington, D.C., and the lowest rate is for Alaska. The lowest density of population is for Alaska. Why? Because of the weather. Nobody wants to go to live in Alaska. But Alaska is very huge, very, very huge. Most part of Alaska is Canada. Canada now is the greatest country all around the world. But most part of the Canada is in the ice. Okay? Unemployment, harsh weather condition, a high cost of living. Many people are going out from California because of high cost of living. It is one of the push factors. High cost of living push people to go out. For example, go to Arizona. Very, very beautiful and lower cost. To Denver, even to the eastern part of America. Inadequate school system, for example, school system in Orange County has the highest rate in California. And some cities like Irvine has the highest rate, you can check in internet, has the highest rate in all cities of America. Irvine is the second safe city, and the first grade of highest schools is especially in elementary school and middle schools, all around in all parts of within the all parts of America, all cities of America, and high crime rates. Also, high crime rates is another problem because it is related to your culture. Some ethnicities, some races, some families, not to have any problem with the crime, but the problem is not so hard with the crime. The last part, you can see these pictures. Political unrest, as you see in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, sometimes near 4 decades before this time in my country, in Iraq, because of the war. Everybody wants to go out as a refugees. Many people has gone out my country as a, not now, about 4 decades ago. Now it's very good. Political unrest, political problems is very important for having a good sense of freedom in your country. Many people go out of their country only because of the political problems and religious problems. Violence, war are push factors that encourage people to leave their country of origin. You see here, simple workers in America from other countries. You can see because of their dress or because of their, for example, color of skin. By contrast, job opportunities. One of the greatest claims of Mr. Trump was, yes, I have created many new jobs in America. Also, after that, everybody knows that it is because of time of economy. Everybody else except of Mr. Trump was president. It was the time of creating new jobs. It's not related to the presidency of this gentleman or that lady. Such as construction work in the United States. It's a good job opportunity for simple worker, are a major pull factor for people from low-income countries. And final, this is the fence between Mexico and the United States has been the subject of extensive media attention and public controversy. It's fence. It is the this picture is before Mr. Trump. And media attention and public controversy, although not a continuous fence, it is not continuous. The barriers combined with the virtual fence of sensors and cameras monitors by the US Border Patrol are designed to prevent illegal migration between the two countries. It is very interesting. If you want to go to Mexico, nobody asks you that where are you going at the border part. Nobody. Go from your car. From San Diego, I think it is 1 hour to the border of Mexico, 2 hours from San Diego to border of Mexico. When you want to get back to your country, they check your passport, they check your everything, because we have a lot of illegal immigration from other countries, especially from Cuba at the side of Miami, and here from Mexico and other parts. Also, not from Canada. I haven't heard a lot of illegal immigration from Canada because Canada is a very good country. In these parts of Trump presidency, many people, many American citizens want to have a second citizenship of Canada. The government of Canada said, what's up in America? Many people with many money, not poor people, rich people, want to go, for example, in a heaven-like place, in a heaven-like city. You know, it is, I think, the first safe city all around the world or the second, Vancouver. It's a heaven-like city. You can check the internet. Many rich people, many rich citizens, American citizens want to go and have a citizenship from government of Canada to live in Vancouver. Why? Because of the highest standard, also not for simple workers, for richest people. In contrast with, for example, with Seattle. Seattle is very near to Vancouver. The time of the clock time of the Seattle, California, and Vancouver is the same. Now, just in Vancouver is the same time as in Seattle and here. Okay, please go for your break for 10 minutes and 6:55, 7. Just at 7, you can start your final exam and I will put here your password. Okay? Please don't be late. Just at 7, you should start. I am here. Thank you.
I'm going in.
Wait a minute. I should. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Have you entered?
Almost.
Okay.
Open back up.
Gabriela, have you entered the exam?
I'm opening right now.
I'm in.
Okay, perfect. Good luck.
I'm putting the password wrong.
Gabriela, is it okay?
Oh no, I had the caps lock on. Yeah, I'm in now.
Okay, perfect. Good luck.
Can I leave? Hello?
Hey, I just finished too. I have a Dr. Takave, are you there? Did you get one wrong that you think it shouldn't be wrong?
Yeah.
I was going to ask him about that because I got one wrong, but I don't think that it was
Which
marked.
one?
Number 2.
Let me go back. I didn't do very well.
Dr. Takave, are you there?
What does it say about those essay questions? Do we have to do any essay? Essay?
I didn't have any essay questions showing up.
Yeah, me neither, but it does say like essay something. It's weird.
I know I kept going down to the bottom to make sure it didn't say
Yeah.
like, sometimes you have to say press like the next button.
Yeah, the second one is about the high culture thing.
Yeah.
Which one you think there is the right one?
High culture.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if he's there. I'll shoot him an email.
But also the number 6. I think he left.
Just make sure you send him an email. He usually responds like within the next day or sometimes
But
immediately.
number 6, did you get it right?
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Oh, he did leave. Hold on one second. Let me message you in Moodle. Because it's still recording. It's gonna go on the
Oh, okay.
All right. I'll message you on the Moodle chat.
Okay, bye.